be honest. So yeah, that's gonna actually come next at some point soon.
Fair enough. So you basically freestyle all the time, and you've been doing that every day since high school or
Yeah,
earlier. Or no, you
yeah.
said in high school you started. When did you?
It's been since 14. It's been literally 23 years. I'm 37, so 23 years.
That's a long time. That's an
Yep.
interesting long time too, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes people come into it new, and when you come into it new, you're like hungry, and you want to. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
how old you are. You don't know how long other
Nope.
people have been doing this shit, and where they're coming
Nope.
from. So
And
hearing
like,
that,
here's
it's
the
like a
thing.
humbling thing, you know.
It's super humbling, and not even just that, man. Like, nobody can tell you, no matter what age you are, oh, you can't do this. When you find your sound that's unique and not like anybody else's, you're gonna be successful. You will,
Mm.
it will work, man. And like for me, just for a background for everybody, when I was signed to management 3.5 years ago, I had management for a year, and they had Sony was pushing for distribution, so I had that shit. Right, it wasn't for me. Being independent was the way for me to go. And but I'll give you an example. I've learned some things when I was with them that I still take to this day. But one of the most defining things that sticks out at this time, and a lot of people don't know this about me. So you'll enjoy this little nugget here, man. I had the guy, my manager at the time, had sent me this beat, and he goes, "Hey, man, I need you to make a track to this. We're gonna have a conference call after you send it back, and we'll go over it." All. So I did this, right, and I'm like, "Oh man!" And you got to think this is like almost 4 years ago when I was using BandLab. Okay, I didn't get my studio till a year after, so I'm using BandLab. All right, so I didn't know the difference. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Oh, this is fucking dope," and I sang on it, right? And I actually auto-tuned my voice, and I thought it was actually decent. Looking back on it now, I'd be like, okay, you could have done better. But time, at that time, I was super fucking proud of it because he kept on telling me, man, take yourself out of your comfort zone, take yourself out of your comfort zone, take yourself out of your comfort. That's all I heard constantly. So I was like, well, what better way to do that than to start singing on tracks, right? And it was something like I remind you, since 5 years old, I always wanted to do that. So it for me, that was a huge fear though, was what's he I know I can rap, but what's he gonna think about me singing wise? Right. So I did what he said. So I'm going into this meeting, man. And I'm like, oh hell yeah, he's gonna love this shit. It's gonna be a great call. Oh no. It was 25 minutes of me getting completely shit on how terrible it was, on what the fuck were you doing? You're wasting my time. And I remember the one thing that he told me was, don't fucking sing. Don't sing. Right. So, and I'm going to tell you, for 5 days, I'm not going to lie to you, 5 days, man, I was fucking livid for 5 days because I had never had anybody do that to my music. I had never had anybody sit there and trash it the way he did. Right. But literally at some point, 5 days in, it clicked. And I took the anger out of what he was telling me, and I listened to what he said. Right. And there's certain things that he was really right about. But then I burned that thought in my head. It's like, oh, I can't sing. I'm going to prove you fucking wrong. And I've kept that with me for the past 3 years. And it's been trial and error, man. Like, believe me, I didn't take vocal lessons. I wasn't in choir. I wasn't any of this shit. It was literally just practicing vocal, just singing and literally building your vocals, man. They start to build. You're able to start to hit octaves. You're able to hold notes. And then all of a sudden people are
Whew.
like, holy shit, you can sing. It's like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I know what that's like. My girlfriend can tell you all about that. She can absolutely describe that whole process in my showers and whatnot. And I belt awfully for years, but it got
Yep.
good. Not like great, but
Yep.
like I'm actually pretty proud of my shit now. Um,
You should be.
no, like for real, like it's like for real, like 4 or 5 years of like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna learn how to do it. Basically on that same shit, motherfuckers kept telling me
Yep.
it would always be car rides. I'd be in the car with people, and some fucking song comes on, and every time I belt out because I love the shit, and it's their
Right.
favorite song. And whenever you sing somebody else's favorite fucking song in a way that is less than like karaoke perfect,
Yeah, yeah.
stop ruining my favorite
Uh,
song. I'm like, yo, that got me
every
so
time.
mad. I'm like, fuck it, I have
Yep.
to learn how to sing. I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. I'm not, and I'm gonna ruin their songs for the rest of my life. So it's like we had to figure this out.
Uh, That's where it was with me though, man. Like it came down to, and literally what also came down is what separates me as an artist from everybody else. What separates me? Like if I go out rapping, everybody else is rapping too. Like that doesn't make me different. What's gonna make me different? My voice makes me a little bit different. I get that, but it was like you really need to like start utilizing your vocals. That's like start incorporating blues, soul, start incorporating rock, start incorporating R&B, start incorporating metal. Like I did all these multiple genres with rap included. That's what I started to do until I found my sound, which it took me literally, if you think about it, in essence, 23 years, but took me the past 4 years doing this professionally, 4 years to find my sound. And like the new tracks that I sent you, though, that's my sound. And I found it and nobody's doing it, man. Like that's what I told my engineers. I was like, bro, we have something that nobody's doing. And it's all because we believed in it, what we were doing, one, believed in our music, and two, we push each other. You know what I mean? Like you can make a good track or you can make a fucking banger, right? Like I want to make a fucking banger. I don't want to make just a good track, man. That to me is a waste of time. Let's make a fucking banger, right? Because music, man, it moves people. Like you said, it moves people, man. Like that's the whole thing with music. I want to be able to connect with people on a musical level because I tell people, man, music is literally, I'm giving a piece of my soul to you through my music. You're able to hear what I feel through my music. It's a connection to my soul. That's why it's so raw. That's why it's just so, it's just there. It's because I don't write anything. Nothing's written. Everything's just off the top. All of my songs, everything, books, everything. Nothing's written. So I stay in that moment and I make sure I stay in that until that track's completed.
Yeah, serious stills, man. I like that you approach it like that. I got some questions about this whole management indie distro, all your deal shit. Because how often you talk to people who actually been down that circuit. And believe it or not, a lot of people care about this shit. Because nobody really Googles very well. So it's the truth of it. What are the benefits of management? Like, why would I want management?
Benefits of management, specifically if they're with a good label, big name. Management is going to be getting you booked on the shows. Management's going to be getting you television appearances. Management's going to get you booked tours. They're going to get you paid. Their goal is to sit there and make you successful because they have to recoup. Because as an artist, when you get signed to a deal, especially like a big deal, they're going to give you an advance. Keyword, everybody listening, remember this, okay? If you're an artist and when the time comes that you get an offer, you need to make sure and understand what advance means. Advance is a loan, okay? That's how money you're keeping. So if they go, hey, we want to give you $400K, okay, cool. But we're going to recoup at a 25% interest off your album sales. We're going to recoup off of your streams.
So you say 25%
They're going to make their money back.
So that's 400K plus is that annual interest of 25. So now every year that goes by, you're up a hundo
until it's paid.
So that part I wasn't aware to do is an interest like that, eh?
So think about that. That's
a hundo
and they
a
put
year.
it in the contract.
And so let's say you get that advance and it takes a year. Does that mean you've gained like $100,000 of debt before your album comes out, or is it only after the album gets released?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's prior. So so then you're sitting in a hole, right? So now say that works out though. Say your album comes out, and you're making your money, and they're happy as could be, right? You're not gonna own your masters at all. The label owns it. So any music you make with them after your contract is up, they still own that music. Why do you think it cost Kanye $330 million to buy his? Why do you think Taylor Swift, who's written how many hits, she's going through trying to get legal battles with Scooter Braun, who's her manager? He owns her masters. And he told her flat out, no matter how much money you offer, you're not getting it.
You're serious shit when you get into that. Well, she's re-recording everything because DMX
now
actually...
she is, yes.
Did you know DMX did that one time? He actually has an album that he did that was like, I was like, why did he do this? I didn't know it at first. And then I realized when he because you own the copyright. So as the artist, you own the composition, but the recording is the masters. And here's
how you get your masters. Here's how you own your masters, just so you know. The studio that you record in, right? Say I record at home. So I own all of my music because I record it in my place. It's my music. When you're recording their studio, that's who owns it. So it'd be like, okay, well, you record here. And like, no. You're gonna record in our place. That's how that's literally how you own your masters. Just so everybody knows, it's where you record at. It's not where you send your stems to. It's where you record the vocal composition. So where you get the basis of the song at, or where you make the beat, that's who owns it. Whoever owns that studio owns the master. Yeah.
That's serious.
It's crazy, bro. Like, and they don't tell you this. They're not going to tell you this stuff. They're not going to be like, hey, let me just tell you, we're going to take this, and then we're going to take a little bit more too. But the thing is, it has its pluses, like I said. Having a label behind you, you now have the big machine behind you, right? So say your album, they have an album that they want you to do. They're going to allocate anywhere between $250,000 to $400,000 just towards the album alone. They're going to then allocate anywhere between $600K to $900K for a music video. And then they're going to allocate another about $150,000 to $250K for branding. Just a lot of money. That's all tied into your one project.
Yeah,
right?
That's a lot of money.
So it's a lot of money.
Yo, but you also
so
have to, just to counter that from the independent side, that's what you're up against when people talk about paid.
Yeah. Yep. And what's crazy is like radio used to be able to break a single on radio, it would generally cost you about $250K to get it in circulation on the mainstream radio shit. It's about $250,000 up. And now though, with the independent artists, and like independent artists have now literally just as big as an opportunity as your major label artists, it's going to take you a little longer. I will say that. It's not going to come just like this. And you shouldn't want that, honestly. You should understand and know your worth. Understand that. Know what you're worth and don't ever sell yourself short.